vulnerability is true courage. It's kind of addictive. The more you really drop into really getting vulnerable with yourself, telling the truth, you see how liberating it is. There are great people like Brene Brown who are teaching and researching on this very fact that ancient traditions about your inner world reflecting and projecting into your outer world have known for centuries. This is great, but what happens when you go through this interchange and then you go back and start to interface with your friends and family who are still in the same mode? This is a tricky challenge, and it's what we're talking about in this video. Hey, Leslie Huddart here. I am a healer, spiritual guide, and subtle body expert, and I help healers, empaths, seekers, and highly sensitive people release the trauma trapped in their bodies without years of therapy. In this video, we're talking about a really important subject. In my subtle body approach, we don't just work on your inner world, but to really make inner work sustainable, you also need the bridge of outer work. We call this energetic communication. And one of the things that's tricky when you go through a big change in your inner world and your connection with yourself and being more vulnerable and honest, you then go back and relate with people and the relationship has maybe shifted. So this can be a little bumpy. So in this video, I'm going to give you two main techniques that you can use when you start to feel into your new self coming into relationship with people who have known your old self and how to deal with that. Because there's a lot of fears that come up. One is like, how do I know if my friends and family are going to be down for this? Is this too weird? Am I too much? Are they really friends that fit with me or not? And how do I find that out without hurting anybody's feelings or really feeling awkward myself? The first thing is really trusting yourself, that things are unfolding. The change of yourself is the most important. And then we're just putting some extra energetic communication skillfulness on top of it. The first technique to use is really just a heads up. So a heads up can mean a lot of things. If you need to have a big like wham bam landing, come to Jesus type of conversation with someone, giving them a heads up in advance is very important. That could just be something like a text. Hey, something big is coming up for me and I really wanted to talk with you about it. Or it could be in the moment. A heads up can just be a little phrase that signals the other person, I'm about to drop down a level and talk about something serious. I promise that this works mostly even with normal people. So just saying something like, wow, I want to talk about something that's kind of important. Or revealing a little vulnerability. I'm a little nervous about how this is going to come across, but I want to talk about something a little deeper. Or I'm feeling a little worried about saying this out loud. I don't know how you're going to react, but ... Any of these things that are sort of a combination of heads up with some vulnerability of what's coming will trigger the other person that says, hey, this is not normal everyday stuff. Don't joke about this. We're actually dropping down. And you might be surprised at what happens. Now, caveat, sometimes if people aren't used to connecting with you in this deeper space, they may get a little nervous. They may say something a little sarcastic. So just steady yourself on the inside. And if they make a little joke or something, you just kind of stay there and you do the same thing again. I know it's kind of funny or you're not used to it, but I am actually being serious and I feel a little sensitive. And so that in itself, just persist a little bit more, giving them the heads up, either in advance if it's a big conversation or just with some sort of intro that lets somebody know what's coming. You'll be able to see and track with them how they actually react. They might feel a little uncomfortable, but they're probably not going to get up from the table screaming. And number two is on the other side is what we call clarifying questions. Now, when we have just gone through something where we shared something in an authentic way that is maybe new for the way that we've reacted with this friend or family member, it leaves us sometimes in this silent void where we're wondering, how did that land for them? Are they thinking that I'm totally crazy? Is this totally going to blow up in my face? And so what we often don't do is we don't know what's happening with the other person and we don't actually ask. So if you can train yourself to just ask the clarifying question, something like, gosh, I'm a little worried that you think I'm crazy. Is that true? So a clarifying question is usually a combination of your worry with a double checking statement. I'm making up a mind story that was too weird for you. Are you freaking out right now? So I share the worry in my mind and then I ask them if that's actually what's happening with them. You can do an open, direct statement. Gosh, how are you feeling when I say that? That's also a possibility. So either one that feels most comfortable for for you in the moment. Open, clarifying question. Gosh, how does it land with you when you hear me say that? But especially if you really have a fear, it can be helpful, and it's sort of an expression of vulnerability as well to say like, ooh, I'm worried that was a little too much. Do you think I'm totally insane? And then just press your lips together and see what they say. Most of the time, you'll be really relieved for them to hear, oh no, that doesn't sound crazy at all, or actually, I feel the same way. I can tell you over and over again, every time I've used this, it has brought someone closer, it has relieved my nervous system, and it really does build authentic connection. So use these two bookends of giving a heads up on one side and asking clarifying questions to actually bring your worry out into the light and get confirmation with a direct question from them. As we change our inner world, you will see the people around you shift. If you want to be in community with a group of empath healers and sensitive people who get you right off the bat, check us out at Empath Healer Central and at some of the links below. We are a community and we might just be for you. You are a soul with a body and you deserve great things. I'm Leslie Huddart and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.